Hi everyone, I'm so excited that today I have Amber Glenn with me. So she is the 2019 CS U.S. Classic Bronze medalist, 2014 U.S. Junior National winner, and two-time Junior Grand Prix winner. So thanks for taking the time to sit with me today. Yeah, so let's talk about your latest and greatest accomplishment. I feel like it's literally all I've been seeing is your axle.
Oh my goodness, it's been so crazy because ever since I was young, of course, it was something I wanted to do, as a little girl, I always dreamed of it. But in my mind, I always thought, okay, well, I've got to get it by a certain age, you know. So by the time I turned like 15, I was like, well, too old now. I've already started puberty and, too late to learn a new jump. So at 20 years old, being able to learn a new triple after doing the same ones for 7 years, more than anything, it's just been an eye-opener for me, and I hope for other people, just to see, like, even though I am still young, like old dog new tricks kind of thing.
Yeah. So when did you start practicing it? Was it during COVID or even before that?
So, of course, like, I've been trying it on and off since, like, 2014, like trying it, but I didn't take it seriously and actually believe in myself that I could do it until, like, it was probably around November that I really started, like, trying it every day or every other day. And then, I took a couple rough falls before nationals, and I took a break on it to get through nationals and four continents. And then after four continents, I started really hitting it hard again. And then COVID happened. So I just took the time during that to kind of reevaluate, like, my skating, how I felt about it, what I wanted to accomplish. And I was like, you know what? I want to land this jump. I want to do it. Like, this is one of my, last things that I want to get done is land a triple axel, and, like, hopefully I'll land it in competition. And I really just set my mind to it. And, a couple months, 2 months after COVID was done, I started landing them fairly consistently. So.
Wow. So do you feel like after COVID hit, you really had that like aha moment where you thought that like you felt your body was able to get through the jump?
Yes, most definitely. It was definitely a big mental thing for me, just getting over the mindset of, I'm 20 and I'm not, 100 pounds, and I'm not, 4'9". Like, I'm 5'6". I'm not even close to 100 pounds, but I don't care. I work out really hard, and I just put myself in the right mind frame to be able to do it. And I was able to do it. And so I feel like it was mainly a big mental obstacle rather than physical.
Yeah. I feel like that's just a really great example you mentioned about everything, because if you set your mind to something, you can accomplish it. You don't have to stay inside this figure skating bubble of being this 13-year-old girl that's already landing triples. And like, what's going to happen when your body does change? If anything, it's even better to slowly grow with your body, get used to it, know how you work, like warning signs for injuries, and then really just push yourself. And also that like mental aspect where it's okay to look different, to be different, and still be able to accomplish great things. It's not the cutoff point after you've like lost, like you're over 100 pounds. Like that's not,
Yeah.
it's not feasible. That shouldn't be the like you're past 100. That's it. Bye. Like you've accomplished everything you can.
Right. Right. And, like, the crazy thing is that at one point I was that. Like, when I was 11, 12, I was already landing all my triples. I was, probably 5'2", tiny little thing. Just, people were like, oh my gosh, she's a freak of nature. She's so, like, talented. And, like, I was that at one point. So it's weird to go from that and having that be your normal to one day waking up and having a, period to deal with, and having, hips, and like your center of gravity is different. I had to relearn my triples, and I couldn't be more grateful that they're, still around and I'm still able to do them now, 7 years later. But, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. They get stuck in I still need to be that 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl, even though you're in like a 16-year-old's body, thinking they have to be that and able to be able to do their jumps again. When in reality, no, you just need to change and do it differently.
Yeah, that's what the really great thing that I talked to Carrie about is she mentioned when someone gains weight, you have to try and understand where they are in their life. Maybe it's just bone, like maybe their actual body is just growing and
Hmm.
they're adapting and changing to it. And that's not a bad thing at all, because that's what you need to do to live. Like that's life. Your body grows, your bones change, the shape. Women's center of gravity goes up a little bit higher than men's. It's
Hmm.
just a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then my other question is, do you feel like because during COVID you weren't on the ice, you were able to rest your body, maybe even rest mentally, do things that you hadn't been able to do for a while? Do you think that actual like break from the ice rather than just like go, go, go also helped you just like relax?
Most definitely. For the first time in years, I actually started hanging out with friends outside of skating. I hadn't really had that since a lot of they were skating friends to begin with, went off to college,
Mhm.
and I was still skating. So when I was younger, a bunch of my friends were at least 2 or 3 grades above me. So when I was like, freshman, sophomore, like sophomore, junior, they were off to college for their first year and I was alone. So they were out doing stuff, and I had, my elite friends here training and a bunch of younger people, but I didn't have friends outside of skating. So it was all skating. And during this time, my sister had to come back home because of COVID from college. And I started really bonding with her more. And I started talking to people outside of skating and form close relationships with them. And it made me feel more well rounded. Um, so definitely my social aspect, I feel like, has helped me a lot with feeling more mentally at ease. Physically, luckily, knock on everything, I have been relatively injury free. So I just took the time to do a lot of injury prevention, keep in a really good, healthy, shape. And just, I spent a ton of time like in my backyard and like outside, of course, social distancing and not around people, but just in the sun.
Mhm.
And as a skater, a lot of us have vitamin D deficiencies because we don't go outside. So having that, it's something so simple as being in the sun helped.
Yeah. I mean, sun is linked like directly to happiness and
Hmm.
circadian rhythm, which is going to help you sleep, is going to help you function, helping your body in every single way. Just being outside, being around nature, feeling the
Hmm.
earth's electromagnetic field. I mean, it's all just going to stimulate your body in the best way.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like another thing is that a lot of skaters are just like so tied into their skating. And that's their one goal. That's literally what we've given up our entire lives for. It is everything to us. And then when you get thrown into a situation like COVID and that one thing is taken away or drastically reduced, you're like, well, now what? Like even I was sitting here, I was like, I painted my door, which like I haven't painted in so long. And I was like, I
Yeah,
can't imagine being a skater like during this time still and being like I can now do anything. Like I don't have to go to the rink, come home and sleep, go to the rink, come home, eat, be tired, lie on the couch just watching TV,
yeah,
being like I literally can't move my body right now.
yeah. No, it was definitely different. And it was weird because I got into like, a routine of not having skating. So getting back was definitely odd. I had to take it slow for sure. But it made me appreciate it even more.
That's good. I'm glad. So then kind of just going back to the whole main theme of everything, and you said like you were over 100 pounds and you were surprised that you were able to accomplish something like that. And that there is that bias of little girls accomplish more, little girls are better athletes, little girls get the higher points. When did you really start feeling that that was the influence around figure skating and that was what people were leaning towards?
I don't know, I was like 12. Uh, and the crazy thing is that I was still tiny at that point. I was tall, but I was slim. Gotten second at nationals, and even though I was on the second place, I was still way taller than the champion, and of course, standing over like the third and fourth, but I was just way taller,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then it was my junior year, and I started going to JGPs, and these little girls. I remember at my first one, I don't even think she skates anymore. Neither one of the champions, like first and second, I had gotten third. Neither one of them skate now, and I guarantee it's like due to just having a lot at a young age. But the champion, she was no more than 5 foot. Tiny little thing, absolute, you know, jumping shrimp, as like Ice Princess would say, just absolutely incredible. And I was kind of there, and I was, this awkward girl that was just starting puberty. So I was, just really long, but like, also not absolutely tiny because I was starting to gain a bit of weight, and I just felt so out of place. And I was 13. I was probably like 110, 115, at 5'4", like
Mm-hmm.
tiny, you know, and I was still doing like triple triples, but because of my height and because of my size, I felt out of place. And people really shouldn't feel like that. It's insane to feel that pressure and that need to fit in when in reality, I stood out because I was powerful, because I skated faster, because I had the maturity of a woman and skated like a woman instead of like a pre-preliminary, little girl. Not saying that others did. I'm just saying, like, before I grew, I skated, as a little girl. And once I did, it was a lot more elegant.
Mm-hmm. I think that there's a whole different side of having a different body type that no one really talks about. And it is true, like some people are just going to stay tiny and they might have an easier time, but that's just how their body is and that's natural to them and good for them. Like each person is different, but there is a different uniqueness to being larger, being more powerful, being stronger, being able to do more mature programs, bringing something else to the ice. And that in itself is its own incredible thing that's going to get you even further than maybe someone else. So it's kind of like a give or take. Whatever your body is, just really take it in and appreciate it and say, I might not have this, but I can do this better. And this is what I'm going to strive for. This is what I'm going to improve on, and not be tied down by what you're lacking and just really use your advantages for you.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. And, I would tell myself that at a young age, like when I was 14, I would tell myself that, and others would tell me that too. But I thought, okay, but like, you know, I want to be like these girls. These are the girls that are winning right now. So I want to be like them. But in reality, I never was going to, because when I tried to get that size and that tiny, I'd be too weak
Yeah.
to hold myself up, to be able to train a full day. I tried and it just didn't work. It, I just wasn't able to. I had to find a healthy balance.
Yeah. That's what happened to me when I went through this one year where I was trying to lose a lot of weight and I basically had the most awkward diet that I talked about with Carrie. And it got to the point where at first I felt pretty good. And then I literally couldn't even get through like my program. Like I was like fatigued in like 30 seconds. And then when it got to that point, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to go eat carbs. So then during the break of skating, I would go to Panera and get the like big baguette and just sit there at the table with butter and eat the entire thing. Or like mac and cheese, because I was
Yeah.
like I need something to fuel my body, because I literally like I feel like I'm dragging myself along. Like I might look great, but I can't accomplish the one thing that I'm actually here to do. And that's to perform well so that I can get the results. So yeah, I'll look great in like a picture of like someone snaps at me, or like when I first step on the ice. When I start skating, people are gonna be like,
Mhm.
what the heck? Like, she's barely moving. Like, ultimately, your body is there
Yeah.
to fuel you, to get you to perform your best. This is your one machine. This is the one thing more important than what skate you have, more important than what blades, what your dress looks like, anything. It's how your body can fuel you, how your body can get you through what you need to do. And it's crazy that we take care of like our equipment so well and we spend so much money on a dress, and then for our bodies we're just popping in whatever random things just to try and look a certain
Mhm.
way, and we're not thinking about what's actually going on in the inside and what we need as people even first.
Yeah, most definitely.
So do you think that most of your pressure came from yourself and looking at the girls around you, or did it come from like a coach, judges, parents?
So it definitely became very internalized. I used to take everything as a personal jab. I don't know why. I mean, I do now, but anytime, I couldn't do a jump, I would think, or I would be told, like, well, you need to be this way in order to land your triple X. And it got to the point to where I would bring a scale to the rink and weigh myself in between meals. Like, it was insane. And I was 15, like I was a baby, to where it was just so unhealthy, and it became very internalized about, aesthetics, and about, you know, uh, people will want to watch me if I look a certain way, or, I'll skate better if I look a certain way, and not about how I felt. I didn't care how I felt physically. I just cared about the results. The results were all that mattered. You know, if I was, 120 pounds that day and I felt like absolute dog shit, like it didn't matter because I was 120 pounds. Woohoo. That doesn't, well, you can't go out and skate well if you feel awful. It's just not going to happen. So it was definitely in part with the adults surrounding me at that time. I won't get into specifics too much about who exactly did what, but it definitely, from a young age, was drilled into me that I had to look a certain way, um, and not even like purposely negative. Like, it was just, at 11 years old, okay, you need to wear all black on practices so you look slimmer. It wasn't anything that's like, oh, you're fat. No, it's these subtle things that get into your head at a young age. And then you convince yourself that it's, oh, you're saying that because you think I look heavy. It's, you don't need to be told, oh, you look disgusting, to feel like someone's telling you that. They don't have to say those words. They can imply it, and it still hurts just as much.
Yeah, I remember when I first moved for figure skating and I was 11 years old, and even then we had judges come, and the rule was when a judge comes, you wear all black. And maybe it's like for distraction so you don't have like bright colors and it doesn't get in the way, but still there is that like black is slimming, like you wear a skirt or you wear short shorts to make your legs look longer. Like there are tricks to it, and then you kind of get used to that, so you're like, okay, at a competition I have to wear like my tightest clothing, I have to wear
Mm-hmm.
all black, I have to wear something that's really going to make me look good. So then later the like judges or coaches or like other athletes are like, oh my god, she looks so good, and then it's kind of just like fueling that circle on and on.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to present your best self. There's nothing wrong in wanting to feel good and look good. It's about telling an 11-year-old, you need to wear black so you look slim. That's the issue. The issue isn't, wanting to look like, wear all black. Like, I love wearing all black now. I think I look badass. Like, there's nothing, amen. There's nothing wrong with that. It's telling a kid that they need to look slimmer.
Yeah.
That's,
And I think when coaches bring up the fact that you have to be a certain to accomplish a jump or maneuver, I truly think maybe they could genuinely think that, but it's just a lack of education in the
Mhm.
body and what the body can accomplish. I mean, the more muscle you have, the stronger you are. Therefore, the more you will actually be able to do. It's not just about your own body weight, it's proportional. I mean, you can
Yeah.
weigh more, but you have more muscle, so it's going to get you through more. So I think especially what Carrie was talking about for US figure skating, that she's creating this educational program for literally everyone, is going to be such a game changer if it can actually happen, because then coaches are actually going to understand what goes into the body becoming what it is for such an elite athlete.
Mhm.
And that's also a really great thing you talked about, that you do a lot of strength training,
Mhm.
because so many girls have this thing in their heads that I can't do strength training because I'm going to get bulky and I'm not going to look a certain way. I'm going to be bigger and I'm not going to be able to like do as well. It's only going to help you. That's why every single athlete participates in strength training, and it is an integral part of their routine, because it is made for you to become stronger in your sport, be stronger in your life. And the chances of you getting bulky are so low, because bodybuilders take so much extra things, testosterone, other supplements, to get to where they are. You doing some squats with a weight heavier than 10 pounds is not going to get you there. And that was something that was always pushed onto me, because I loved working out. The gym was like my safe space. And I was always told, like, you look like a man, you look like a bodybuilder.
No. Ugh, I hate that so much. My gosh. If you're powerful and you skate fast, who cares? First of all, absolutely beautiful. You are strong and incredible. Okay. Second off, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be able to lift heavy weights. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, I avoid having something too heavy just for injury prevention.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Once I'm done skating, I want to see if I can out squat some of these men, because I have some powerful legs. I know that I probably can. I have been, you know, I have had quads mortifying the most men since I was 12 years old, and I'm proud of it. Okay. I used to be embarrassed of it. I don't care at this point. They are what got me to land all my triples. They are what power me every day. I am, they're rock hard, and I'm so proud about that. And I used to think when I was younger, okay, well, if I want to get into shape, I need to run. I need to run 6 miles before I skate, and then another 3 after I skate. Well, that didn't help because I was tired by the time I got to go and skate, and I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't help. It might have helped me look better, but it didn't help me skate better. In reality, when I'm skating my best, it's because I do a lot of agility. I do a lot of, jumping on boxes. I do a lot of, I'll use kettlebells. I'll use, some weights. For me, it's a lot of jumping, just because for me, I'm naturally not too much of a quick twitch athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to, train my body to be quicker. And everyone's different. Some people might be, more of a quick twitch athlete and need to work on, endurance for like long periods of time of strength. You know, I can go for a long period of time, but I'm not as quick sometimes. So I have to work on, a lot of plyometrics and, keeping the strength with the, flexibility and all that. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just running, it's not just cardio. You can't just get exhausted and out of breath and burn a certain amount of calories and you're going to be a better athlete. There's so much more that can go into it, and that should go into it.
Yeah. So well said. I mean, 100%. And I really hope that what you're saying really resonates with other girls, and maybe we'll give them that aha moment, or at least something else to consider, because I think you absolutely have the right mentality about it right now. Do you feel like you were able to achieve that on your own, or did you seek out the help of a professional to help you really understand that?
I definitely have had a lot of help from different professionals. I have a trainer who gives me a workout plan, and I follow it to heart. You know, I wear a heart rate monitor that keeps me in a certain zone. Um, I have a certain amount of, you know, plyometrics and like cardio and all that I need to do. Um, and I really just go based off of how my body is feeling and what works for that. Not everyone is the exact same. Um, you know, I've tried so many different ways, and not everything works for everyone, including diet. Like, I tried going vegan at one point, and even though it was great and I didn't mind it, and I love the idea of it, it just didn't work for me. I have certain vitamin deficiencies, and I have, you know, anemia, and it's really hard to be vegan and do that, especially when you don't have the money and time for it. You know, I tried being low carb. Obviously, that did not work. You know, I tried calorie diets. I tried it. I've tried so many things. I've worked with nutritionists. I've worked with, and in reality, I just had to go, you know, intuitive eating, uh, you know, just trying to do whatever makes my body feel good, what makes me feel energized and happy, you know, while knowing what basics are. I know how much protein I need in a day. I know how much carbs, sugar, all that. You know, that is in the back of my head, but in the front is just not overthinking it, you know? Uh, at one point, you know, the only reason why I'd work out is because I'm like, okay, I need to burn this amount of calories because I ate this amount of calories today. And that is just so toxic, and that is just such bad, you know, eating disorder behavior. And I know so many girls that will still do that, and it breaks my heart because that's that's like torturing yourself, you know? It's punishing yourself. And it just didn't work for me. I tried, and it might for a few days, but in the long run, it's just going to damage your body.
Yeah. Did you ever work with a sports psychologist or no?
Yes, I've worked with multiple. The hard thing behind that is with sports psychs. You know, when I was younger, I thought, okay, I'm working with her so I can compete better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just talk to her about competition stuff. When in reality, I was struggling with my mental health and dealing with so many other things. And that was the reason why I was competing poorly. But I thought, okay, I just need to talk to her about like how my triple sal feels, not about how I'm, you know, having anxiety attacks. That's not her problem. She's a sports psych. And in reality, if I had talked to her about how I was having this bad anxiety, my triple sals probably would have gotten better a lot quicker, you know? Uh, but now I know, like, I have a great sports psych that I work with, and she's absolutely amazing. Uh, and I know that skating isn't just, you know, technique and thinking to keep my left arm in front on my triple flip. It's before I get on the ice, taking quick few breaths if I'm feeling tense, and acknowledging certain emotions and certain feelings uh, that I'm feeling off the ice, and not letting them, you know, transfer onto it and affect me too much. But working with professionals, whether it's a sports psych or a regular therapist, I feel like is so crucial and so important for someone at this level in this sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, we seek out the best figure skater coaches in the world because we want to train with the best. But yet we don't get the best. We don't think about our sports, our strength and conditioning coaches. We don't think about which nutritionists we need. We don't think about what like sports psychologists we need. We don't think about how our mind plays into it, how our body functioning. All we think is what's going to be on the ice is the only thing that's going to determine how well I compete. What I do
Right.
on the ice, and then everything else doesn't go into it. When your body is a machine, it all works together, and every part needs to work synergistically in order for you to perform your best. And why shouldn't you seek out the best sports psychologist, the best nutritionist, the best strength coach? Because those things are just going to build you up. I mean, if anything, it doesn't help, but if it does, then that's amazing. And it's really, I think, going to be eye-opening for a lot of people if they are able to reach out to those resources because they're just going to understand more about how their own body works. They're going to know when they feel arousal, how to deal with it, maybe how to curve those bad feelings of anxiety into something more like arousal for your competition, get you excited, get you understanding that like you're about to go there and like lay an amazing program, and people in the audience are going to look at you and be like, wow, this girl's got talent, look at her power, look how incredible she is, and not just, I hope I don't fall on my butt in front of the judges.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect and that I have everything figured out, because in reality, I don't know if I ever am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Olympic champions have it 100% figured out. I think everyone's different. Everyone has their own thing that works, and that might change over time. One, a couple months, something might work, and then you might need to change things up a bit. But for me, I feel like I've been through so many different methods over the years, and I've kind of figured out which ones don't work for me and which ones do. So for me, like, I don't do well with just doing a bunch of cardio and doing more off the ice than on the ice. I tend to do better when I run more programs on the ice, get most of my workout in on the ice, and just do a lot of recovery and agility off the ice. But again, everyone's different. You have to know what works for you while keeping, a healthy mindset towards everything. Like, everyone is different, but also you need to know, okay, this is healthy behavior and this is unhealthy behavior.
Yeah. I mean, experimenting with your own body, finding out what works for you is, I think, really important in sports, because especially when you're in a training center with a lot of other skaters, and at least when I was skating, every athlete has the same like run through routine. Like, you do one a day, and then when you get to 3 weeks out, you do your like doubles, your quads, and then you have like a little rest week. You do quad. I'm so glad I never have to do that again. And then you do one a day again. And for me, that never really worked with my body, and I didn't understand why. And whenever I would do more run throughs, I would just end up doing worse, because all I was thinking about was like saving my energy. I would just like slug along doing the bare minimum just to get the fourth run through so that I don't fall on my face.
Yeah.
And then even later on, like after my rest week, I couldn't recover that, and I felt fatigued even into the competition. Whereas like some of my friends were like, this is so easy, like why is this such a big deal for you? And I was like, I don't know, like it just, for me, it's a big mental and physical like jump that I can't really get over. And my partner was the same way. So sometimes we just do 2 run throughs when other people would do 4, because I was like, I'd rather give it my all in the 2, where I know that it's going to benefit my body more, than just try and push this like random 4 that's not going to get me anywhere. And it was just not very, our training program was not very, you couldn't personalize it. Like, the rule was the rule, and if you were with a coach, he was going to make you do the 4 even if it didn't work for you. And I think that's also something that coaches and athletes need to understand, is that not only is every person's body is different, every person's anatomy, physiology, everything really functions in different ways. Some people can have more type 1 fibers. They might be great in endurance, like you said. Other people might have more type 2 fast twitch. They might be better at the quick agility, but they need to work on their aerobic capacity. So it's understanding that you need to tailor a program. You need to tailor nutrition. If you hear someone's doing whatever type of diet, it might not work for your body, because theirs is going to react differently. Someone's training routine isn't even going to work for your body. I mean, each person is truly unique, and that's what makes you incredible. That's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you be able to accomplish the unique things that you can do the way you can. And I think we really have to appreciate our differences, because that's what makes us our greatest version of ourselves. And a lot of that is really often forgotten, and we're just trying to fit into this one mold that is not, it's not right, and it's not going to get you into optimal performance long term.
Right. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. If you just keep on trying to do one thing, okay, you might be playing into someone else's strength, but that might be your weakness and you're not going to succeed. You need to do what works for you. Play to your strengths. Work on your weaknesses, but play to your strengths, you know? That's, I mean, it's just common sense, but a lot of people just don't see past that. They just see, okay, well, this has worked for this person, so if you can't do it, you're weak. You should be able to do this. Well, no, but I can do this, better than, or I can do this and they can't. So how about we, kind of meet in the middle kind of thing. Like, it's just, there's a lot that goes into it, as you obviously know, but you just can't constantly compare yourself to others. And that's such, ugh, a big ask, and it's never going to 100% happen. You can't just try and be someone else or try and compare yourself to your training mate or some other athlete. Like, you're gonna be different. Yes, you can take some ideas and some tips from them, but following their exact plan, you're not going to get the exact results that they do because you're not them. It's just not going to happen, you know?
Yeah. So would you say that's your biggest takeaway for if another girl is looking at this video and she's thinking, this is all great, but what can I really try to do to help myself?
Yes. This entire time I've been preaching the do what works for you, go off of how your body feels. That's one thing that I feel like I can say that everyone can listen to and try and follow. If I go out here and I say, okay, well, I do, 15 jump squats and 15 jumping lunges and and this made me do that. Like, okay, a girl might go and do that and not get the same results as me. It's just different for everyone. But if I say, okay, well, do this and see how you feel and try it out, and if it doesn't work, keep trying different methods, eventually one will work. Just keep trying, and when I say that, I'm not saying try, skipping breakfast and then trying to go skate. That is not something you should try. Have, the common sense and the common, knowing what's good for your body and go off of that
Mm-hmm.
and keep working. There's not going to be some miracle workout or some miracle diet that's just going to have you all of a sudden landing quads. It's just knowing what's best for you. And I'm lucky that within the last, half a year that I've really figured that out. But I'm 20 years old. I've been skating for 15 years. It's taken me a long time. And I'm still not perfect. I still have problems and issues that I got to work through. But I can say I'm at the best point that I've ever been. The last step for that was really, embracing who I am, coming out in December and just finally feeling at ease with just being me, and not having to condense myself into a bubble. That was kind of like the last breaking of a mold, I guess, for me. And ever since then, I've been just, smashing them. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I don't care. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what works for me. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel good. And I am going to live the best life I can. That's such a, live your best life. But it's true. It's true. And I feel like everyone should just do that,
Yeah.
It's so typical, but it's so true.
I'm so happy for you that you've really been able to get that like aha moment and you can
Mhm.
truly live your best life. And I think one thing that's important to say is that you mentioned find what works for you, and that to find what works best for you, it's 100% okay to ask for help.
Yes.
To ask a nutritionist, hey, would you mind educating me on protein, carbs, fats, understanding what they are, how they help my body, and then maybe from there I can by myself play around with the different like ingredients and how much of each to have, or
Right.
asking a sports psychologist, being like, hey, what are some tricks that I can help with my anxiety. It's
Yeah.
We're not in this alone, and we don't have to try and figure out ourselves by ourselves. we can
Right.
we can reach out and have other people help build us up.
Yes. Like I'm 20, so I'm able to both ask for help, which I have many times, and I've had a lot of help. I didn't get to where I am by myself, and I am able to find things on my own. But there are kids out there, that might be watching this that are like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You are still a child, you're still a minor. Like, you're not gonna be able to figure everything out perfectly on your own. You might be a genius, but it's not a bad thing to ask for help, and people out there, they want to help you. And, why not? What do you like? What's preventing you? Like, there's no reason to be embarrassed to ask for help, to be too shy to ask for help. In reality, what's the worst that can happen? It just doesn't work out and you try again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. I really hope that our chat can help some girls out, and I feel like a lot of them are going to resonate with you, and I'm sure so many look up to you, and they should. You're an incredible person, an incredible athlete, an incredible human being. So,
Well, says you, who has organized this entire thing, which is amazing. People are speaking out so much more and so much more often right now. And it couldn't make me happier in all aspects when it comes to, physical, mental, just embracing who you are. And it's been so great to see that. And thank you for being a part of that and really starting this. So I hope a lot of people get to see this, please.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.